Okay, well, today's the big one. This is the fourth week I've owned the Interceptor. First 3 weeks it spent 1 week at the dealers trying to have, it keeps on cutting out when I kill the throttle. It's been to the dealers for a week. The dealers have had a go at it. Royal Enfield in India, the factory in India, have logged onto the bike over the internet and messed with it. And I've got 3 days left to decide whether to return the bike and get my money back or to keep it. I've just got the bike back from the dealers and this is the test ride. Have they managed to fix it? Because I'm not interested in a bike that has an intermittent electrical fault, I'm afraid. They're the worst possible type to track down and cure. And as I say, the factory and the dealer has had a go at it, so if they can't fix it, who can? And why should I be lumbered with it in the meantime? You know, while they try and track the fault down. So today's a big day. I'm going to go for a ride. I'm going to go out to Appley and round back into town. And then if it doesn't cut out, I'm going to do a little bit of town work probably, as long as I remember. And then if everything's fine, when I get back here, I'll keep the bike. If it cuts out, if it even cuts out once, I'm turning around and coming back because the fault hasn't been cured. And I'll ring up the dealers today and tell them to come and get it. I don't want it, which would be a huge shame. Apart from anything else, I bought tons of bits for it, like the rear suspension and levers and pegs and a new helmet. You know, I really want it to work, but we're just going to see. And someone just put me off. Yeah, I mean, what else can you do? I can give it a fair test, see if they've cured it. If they haven't cured it, they haven't cured it, and it's going back. And then I have a decision to make about which way to go when I got my money back, whether to give Royal Enfield another shot, or whether to cut my losses and go and get a Triumph Trident. Because it's not like I'm expecting this bike to cut out as I'm riding it, right? And that does not make for a pleasant riding experience. You just, you know, you just can't relax. The weather, not that great, but you know, it's November in the UK. It's not unreasonable to expect bikes to perform in this weather. It didn't go below freezing last night, so there's no ice around. It's well above freezing really, so it's typical weather. It's a fair test of the bike. So come on Mavis, you can do it. Fingers crossed.
Well, we got past the first hurdle, all right. I was expecting it to cut out at that roundabout, to be honest. I've got so little confidence in it now. But we go up here, we go through a series of traffic lights and straight lines, which gives the bike ample time to warm up. It's 50 around here, so it's 50 down here. There's a big hoo-ha further on with the roadworks. I'm going to have to leave the visor on this helmet slightly open. There are small raindrops appearing on my visor. Look, there's nice bright sky ahead. But I just had to get this ride over with now because, you know, it's doing my head in. So far it's been all stress. And I should be enjoying you know, my wonderful new bike. But we'll see. As I say, if it cuts out even once, it's going back. Because it's an intermittent fault. Intermittent electrical faults are the worst part of green. I'm going to go right here. Yeah, we might get caught in the shower. Look at that shit. Oops, must have overfilled there. I don't know what speed I ended up doing out here on the ZX6R, but I'm glad I couldn't film the speedometer in those days. Right, so we're going uphill and we are doing 52 miles an hour at about 3,700 revs. That suits me fine. No cutouts so far, I'm pleased to report. But the bike has been cutting out in the middle of journeys, at the end of journeys, at the beginning of journeys, you know. It's obviously not a mechanical problem, it's some sort of, I don't know. I mean, we go into the realms of areas that I simply don't understand, like electrics and programming echoes and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know about any of that shit. All I know is I want it to fucking work, you know. I dropped £6,000 on it. It's not unreasonable to expect the bloody thing to work. And the runaround I was given on the phone the other day was just ridiculous. And all totally unnecessary. So, I don't know. I'm so in two minds about it. Right, 50 miles an hour, I think we're going to fifth. Speed up to 50. Actually, that feels a little low. I think we've got to 6. And I'm deliberately choosing to go out on these B roads, as it were, so that, you know, the recovery guy doesn't have too much trouble finding me. It's just, the whole thing had just totally sapped my confidence in the bike. Although it is building up as we go along there. Because I've closed the throttle multiple times without it cutting out. There's a bit of drizzle. Sorry if it's getting on the lens, but 47 miles an hour, thank you. And you know, what I bought this bike for was just to relax and enjoy it. Not for a ton of fucking stress, you know. Which is basically what the whole thing's been so far. Although, the time I'm riding it, in between cutouts, is highly enjoyable. It's just this feeling in the back of your mind, you know, is it going to cut out? Is it going to cut out? Not the greatest day, I'm afraid, but time is pressing. In the sense that the 4 weeks when I can give the bike back without financial penalty comes to an end on Friday. After that, I can still give it back, but they can start knocking money off, you know, wear and tear that they claim that I've caused. They will complain that I've caused. I don't know this dealer, I don't know. So it's the first time I've ever dealt with them. So, you know, I don't know what they're like. It's a sort of situation where if I keep the bike, and I'm sort of throwing myself on the mercy of the dealer, you know, which isn't a comfortable feeling for me. I must say, so far, they're going well. Yeah, another thing I've done is I've upped the preload on the suspension one notch because, oops, because the bike comes with it on its softest setting, and I was feeling like if you went over a series of little bumps, they were being transferred directly to my butt. Did that say 35? Because my speedometer is saying 40. It can't be 5 miles out at 40, surely. I suppose it could be. As every minute passes, I'm enjoying it more. But that's the sort of bike it is, you know. I noticed when I was editing the video from previous excursions, that every time I turned the Insta360 back onto myself to look what I was doing when I was riding, usually I had a grin on my face. And that's the sort of bike it is, to be honest. And in that sense, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Now we're doing 60 and almost exactly on 4,000 rows. I just saw the camera doing something funny. So the running in periods, and we're still on running in periods, I've still only done 100 miles, just over 100 miles on it. You can do 60, so if I were you, I'd stick to, but that's flat out at 4,000 rows. That's the limit on the sort of B roads in the UK. So if I were you, I'd just stick to them. But the advantage of going around this way is I don't get lost. If I go around the other way, I usually end up in bloody Gloucester. What's that? Fourth, third, second, first, and it's cut out. It's cut out. So maybe that was my fault. I don't think so, though. I think that means the bike's going back. If it cuts out again, it's definitely going back. I just haven't got time for this. '50 along here, this is course lawn. And at this speed, the bike is very, very pleasant. Uh, I'll carry on going round because I want to give it a fair go. Yeah, itchy nose. It seems to only occur when I change down into first. It seems to occur when I change down into first and put the clutch in. I must say I'm enjoying going at this speed. Um, it's just such a contrast from my last bike. Sorry, there'll be big periods of silence in this because obviously that's got me thinking that stall at that junction. Right, here comes another junction. No cut out yet. The boot caught on. The rim of my boot keeps on catching on the end of this blasted foot peg. That, no stall. I've got a bit more rain there. I think I went over 4,000 runs there. But no stall. That's a good thing. Your headlight's always on when you're riding this, it comes on automatically. So. There's also an LED running light, so it seems a bit confused, but there is in the headlight shop. It's not raining steadily, but we got drizzle. But so what? Mud on the road, that's good, right. I'm gonna hang back a bit so I can see what's coming. I don't want to be putting it into the ditch, particularly. Is that place shut? I think it's shut now. I broke down there once in the ZX6R. These gloves have got a very handy windscreen wiper in the, on the index finger. Right, now coming up to a bit of town work, we're going to go over a bridge at the end of this straight. Are we where I think? And then cut into Tewkesbury. Yeah, one thing I'd meant to cover in some of the other videos was the frame on this thing. And I have to say that the frame and the tyres, see now that was when it was cutting out, just there. The frame and the tyres have given me no problems whatsoever, or even concern. I just haven't noticed them because, see, this is where it's cutting out, this low speed first gear stuff. I did that fine. There, that was when it was cutting out. When I killed the throttle. And put it down again. Right, you probably can't hear me now because I got the visor open. Unfortunately, it's raining. We're in town. I have to have it open, otherwise.
Right, and here we come across a slight flaw in my system, I'm afraid, because the Insta360 camera will only do 30 minutes clip, and then it starts another clip, and so it all becomes hopelessly unsynced with the recording I'm making on my iPhone, which is, I'm recording via the AirPods into the iPhone. So here we are going down Tewkesbury High Street. I've got something to say right at the end, so I think what we'll do is we'll cut this here and we'll go right at the end to when I get off the bike. Okay. Well, the one stall we had, I'm prepared to put down to my technique. The clutch on this has a very late bite, and I think I was so I was just too nervous about that junction, and I messed up my technique. And remember, I haven't ridden much for the last 18 months because of lockdowns and what have you, and only put 100 miles on this. I think that was my technique, and the way it behaved just then, coming through town, that was fine. As I get more used to the bike. So that's it. That's the end of my test. It's passed, I'm happy to say. So I haven't wasted my money. I can start thinking about putting all my lovely bits on. In particular the bloody pegs, which are still getting in. They're just getting in the way. I mean, it's ridiculous. And thank you for watching.